special, no, it's not special. Yeah, that's what it says, special meeting. The local planning agency, for January the 7th, 2020 at 6 p.m. The first item for consideration is, the minutes from November 19, 2019. Action by the board.
I motion we approve the minutes from November 19th.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion by the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. We'd like to recognize, no, let me go further. Item number 3 is the Point Center Road annexation. The applicant is Tom Lewis Young Trust. It's located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Point Center Road and Garrett Pit Road. It consists of 2.77 plus or minus acres. Elgin Dooley III, Officer Planner, City of Crestview. This is LPA request 19-28. Staff. You got him?
Thank you. Like we said, this is a piece of property that is 2.77 acres. It is on the very corner. If you look at the map there on Point Center Road and Garrett Pit Road. At this point, all they're requesting is an annexation into the city. Public notice has been sent out. Notice were sent to property owners within 300 feet of the subject property on 11/26. Property was posted on 12/3. An ad run on 12/7 and again on 12/8 on the 28th. This has met and meets all of the compatibility requirements from the city's statutes to annex a piece of property. At this point, they're still in the process of deciding what they're going to do exactly with the property, and so the comp plan and rezoning will follow at a later date.
Okay, thank you.
Tonight's court request is just to motion for approval on annexation.
Thank you, Trey. Is there action by the board, LPA request 19-28?
I make a motion to approve annexation to LPA 19-28.
Mr. Carroll, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Trey, wasn't there something planned for that piece of property years ago?
Years ago, and the new one is completely different. But a part of it's because of the new roads. They're trying to wait to see what the new roads are going to look like in there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big traffic circle right out front there now, isn't it?
It's currently proposed to be, well, that's not work. Somewhere around, see where the arc comes up to
Right.
Antioch Road? Somewhere in that vicinity. Where exactly, I'm still waiting on some maps right now. I was supposed to have
You
gotten
remember when
those.
we tried to trade that piece of property to Tim Ray to line up with Antioch, Addison Place?
We tried. Now they're.
Just couldn't get him to listen, could we?
Nope. Long time in coming, so.
That other piece of property behind it there between Whitehurst and Point Center Road, is that still got those trips on from the developer that did the other apartment complex? Remember they're gonna put in more apartments?
There was some plans for that, what they're gonna do, it's still,
It's still for sale, it has the trips
Yeah.
already counted.
yeah, because of the new alignment, they're in discussions of changing everything in there.
Right. All right, good, progress.
Lots of progress.
Any other comments, questions? Okay,
sorry.
we'll move on to item 4. And I will announce before this is a 3-part agenda item. First, we will discuss the request for annexation, which does not require the public hearing. Then we move down into the LPA request 2005, which is a public hearing by the established format. Okay.
And the rezoning.
Applicant owner is Glenda Gordon. It's located at 5701 Highway 85 in the public records of Okaloosa County. This is a parcel consisting of 2.1 plus or minus acres. Our staff person is Mr. Dooley. The LPA request 20-04 is a request to annex the subject property as mentioned previously. Trey?
Thank you, sir. If you've driven on the north side of town, you're probably familiar where this is at. The parcel is the north side of Airport Road, east side of Highway 85. Wendy's, the new Publix shopping center is on the south side of 85 right there. That property owner is seeking to annex into the city. As Mr. Connor stated, this is a three-part piece right here. First part will be the annexation into the city. The second part will be the comp plan amendment. They wish to turn this into a commercial, and the zoning will be the third part. That will be future land use will be commercial for comp plan, and the zoning will be commercial for a commercial development. The commercial development, we've seen some tentative plans, but that will be a future process that comes through. So for tonight is the approval for the annexation 1. 2 is the approval for the comp plan amendment to future land use of commercial, and then 3 is the rezoning to City Crestview commercial zoning. The public notices have been done for public record. 300 feet within the property was notified on 11/26. Property was posted on 12/3, an ad run on 12/7 and 12/28. As far as concurrency, it does currently, for the level that we have right now, it does meet all city concurrency requirements. There are, as always on 85, there are considerations to be made about the traffic on Highway 85. However, those considerations will be taken into account during the development review, during that process when we get that application. So moving forward, as far as the annexation, comp plan, and rezoning, staff recommends approval on all 3 of those items.
One question for you, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Is that Auburn Water System?
I believe that is Auburn Water north of, there's a 40 line just south of Airport Road where everything north of that is Auburn Water franchise.
Okay. Does the city plan to provide sewer? for
If
the
at all
project?
possible, yes.
Okay. One other question. Does staff, does your department still do a cost analysis for annexations of parcels into the city? If you don't, you don't.
Not
If you do,
not that in depth anymore.
okay, don't do a cost analysis. Okay, get that out of the way. All right. Any questions, Trey, for?
I just need to know, is it Sonny's?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Before I approve or disapprove?
okay,
Got a good salad bar.
okay,
We're being recorded, you know.
this is for the, first item is for the annexation. Action by the board on LPA request 20-04.
Make a motion, we approve.
We have a motion,
What's the number?
second by Mr.
yeah.
Haynes.
I was gonna say the LPA, 20-204.
Okay, any
20-04.
comment from, questions from the, board? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. The next item for consideration is LPA request 20-05. The next agenda item is a public hearing, and I now declare the public hearing open. Pursuant to Article 4, Chapter 102 of the City Code, a public hearing is being held for the purpose of receiving oral and written comments into the official record for the public for the purpose of consideration of the adoption of several amendments to the comprehensive plan. The agency will consider the amendment requiring consideration within the public hearing process and then vote on the amendments at the end of the hearing process. For the record, the agency asks that all speakers identify themselves by name and address and that they confine their oral remarks to the time allotted when recognized by the chair. Written comments received by staff shall be presented to the agency and excerpts listed in the official minutes. The Community Development Service staff will speak on behalf of the city. The public hearing is being held to provide a forum for public input into the comprehensive planning process. The first item to consider is small-scale comprehensive plan amendment 19S10 for future land use map amendment of 2.18 acres more or less located at 5701 Highway 85 North. Staff?
And as we previously stated, we presented it all at once, just rather than doing about three and re-present. It's the same process, same project, so you can move forward with your motions and questions and.
Okay, thank you, sir. Comprehensive Plan Amendment 19S10 reflects the future land use change of 2.18 acres more or less of developed property located at 5701 Highway 85. If this amendment, if adopted, the amendment will be accomplished by ordinance number 1734 and will impose a commercial future land use category upon the property. Are there comments for opponents or proponents of this matter? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against the matter? Anyone wishing to speak for or against the matter?
For the record, there are no attendees for or against the project tonight.
Hearing no further comments, I now close this portion of the hearing, except for direct questions by members of the local planning agency. Is there any discussion, debate, or recommendation to the agenda item posting? Is there comments, question, or discussion from the board? Hearing no further discussion, I now declare this portion of the public hearing closed and ask for a motion from the local planning agency for adoption of 19S10. Action by the board.
I move that a recommendation of adoption of amendment 19S10 be made to the city council.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
So we'll say Mr. Carroll is a second. Any question or comment by the board? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. The next item for consideration is LPA request 20-06, which is initial zoning designation of C1 to the property.
And that's that same parcel, you just, it's the zoning portion of it.
This, the parcels identity that we read previously. Is there action by the board?
That's the piece of property right there.
That's the one up North 85.
Oh, no, not North 85. Oh, we're still on that one.
Yeah, you're doing the third of the three parcels on that. You're doing the rezoning now to approve the rezoning to a commercial, city commercial zoning.
Need a motion to approve the rezoning?
I move that the recommendation to the city council for rezoning.
For LPA request
LPA.
20-06. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion by members of the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the motion is carried.
So we won't see that again until development stage.
Correct.
Kind of a new concept, I like it.
We're trying to speed these things up so they're a lot more fluid. We gotta rewrite the chairman dialogue to make it a little bit more
Fluid.
comprehensive.
He's doing fine.
Okay, the next item for consideration is item number five, Arena Road. This is a comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning request. The applicant is Crestview Property Service, a limited liability corporation. This is located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Arena Road and Edney Avenue West, which consists of 1.97 plus or minus acres of property, of land. Any comment at this point?
Just your next comment on the
Okay.
dialogue.
The next item is LPA request 20-07. There is a amendment, small scale amendment to the comprehensive plan 19-S11 to the future land use map for low density residential to industrial.
For the record, we're still in the public hearing that was previously opened, so your chairman dialogue notes will still be in effect. At this point, you will need to ask, is there any board member that needs to disclose any ex parte conversations or conflicts relating to this amendment at this time? If not, then we can move on.
Okay, are there comments from the audience? Anyone wishing, the public hearing is open, anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against the LPA request 20-8?
We'll do staff comments first on the.
Okay, come forward, staff.
All right, as we are in this parcel now on, it's on the north end of Arena Road. It's 1.97 acres, almost 2 acres, where Arena Road connects to West Edney Avenue. The applicant is requesting to modify the comp plan and future or zoning of this parcel to industrial from R1. As you can see, it is currently a mostly vacant piece of land with, industrial south of it and around it. To the north is R1. To the west, if you look at the aerial photo, there's some mostly woods on either side of it. There are 2 small residences to the west portion. Tonight's request is to do a comp plan amendment and rezoning to industrial. Public notice was sent to all property owners within 300 feet of the property on November 26th. And to my knowledge, we have not received any comments from anyone that was notified. The property was posted on 12/3. In addition, an ad was posted in the paper on 12/7 and 12/28. So that's 4 or 5 times it's been noticed to the public. And we have had no comments from anyone in the neighborhood. And as we said, this is trying to go to proposed zoning of industrial M1 and a future land use of industrial. The staff recommendation is to approve this change with the understanding that during the plan review, when we do receive a site plan, that we'll request some buffering to be placed between those 2 different uses. And in talks with the property owner who is in attendance, they have agreed to whatever we determine at the plan review stage we need buffering, then they've agreed to provide that as necessary.
Got a question for you, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Directly, I'm gonna say to the west, that parcel area is residential dwellings.
Correct.
Just a whole line, subdivision in that area. And some people might know that it used to be, riding stable, Barney Adams riding stable there. There was a house, previously on the site, but my only question is that when it comes to there's a lot of things can fit into industrial, I say, and maybe many warehouses or something like that. But my concern to go in with industrial are those people across the street. I don't know how you buffer industrial for them unless you have a pretty significant front setback. I don't know.
That's correct. And we had, initial talks had been looking at somewhere around 50, 75 foot of a vegetated buffer. And also from what I understand, the building that may get built, all the activities will be inside that building. So there, in theory, should be no noise or sound pollution like that to the neighborhood.
No traffic impact. That's what I was saying. I had the same concern about the north side of the.
So,
I mean, obviously the south side, they're already buffering industrial, or not buffering, but they're already joined to industrial.
right, and so here's one of the things to think about too on this project, in conjunction with the new roads that are going to be built. The new east-west bypass connector is going to be just south of this property. So most of the traffic is going to be using that new roadway. That's the purpose of what drew this property to the forefront to be developed. That keeps the traffic away. That keeps the traffic on taking Arena Road to the south. If you would allow
I think that would be appropriate. Property owner
I was
representative.
wondering why you was here.
Good evening, how are y'all, fellas? Appreciate your service. So no determined use for the property at this point in time, but are just trying to kind of go ahead and align it now for any potential future use that we might have. The industrial zoning was requested primarily because it's contiguous to existing industrial zoning, and it is on Arena Road, which is an industrial corridor. Currently, Arena is paved by the property, but it is dirt as you move further to the south. My expectation, just because of what will be happening in the next few years south of there, is that the city would likely be looking at paving Arena Road. And frankly, this piece of property and the other adjacent industrial properties, the expectation, I think, would be that access will be primarily along Arena Road to the south. And in fact, if it makes y'all more comfortable, one, we've not had any input at all from anybody in the neighborhood, and everybody's been given good notice. Two, we'll make sure that we are adequately buffering for whatever type of use occurs in the future to meet the city's comp plan and land development requirements. Three, we would be happy to place a stipulation that says that there would not be any direct access on Edney Avenue. If that's helpful. Again, that's not the intention. I think you're right. You do want to keep some buffer along Edney. The Adams old home place, I don't know if it burned or how it came to no longer be in existence, but it's been a slab for many, many years. And it's now a pretty thick vegetated buffer has grown up in front of it, facing Edney Avenue. And whatever the use may be in the future, the expectation would be that buffer will be left in place. That I guess would be the northern portion of that property. There isn't any need for a connection to Edney, and we wouldn't expect to place one.
Okay. That's my concern of adjoining property owners.
I'm sorry. For the record, my name's Nathan Boyles. Thank you, Mr. Cooley.
Yeah, like I say, it looks like there's a buffer, like you said, a vegetative buffer. I don't know how old this picture is.
It's thick. It's real thick. If you're at street level, it's real thick along Edney.
I'd like to ask a question. What is the proximity of that to the what is now the Head Start?
It's so corner, West Edney goes over and corners up on Gordon Street.
Yes.
So kind of on that far side of Gordon
That far
Street.
Is that corner up there?
Yes, sir.
This is Head Start, right? The
Yeah,
green.
it's,
Right.
Yeah. And I'll just note for the record, the property that's on for us, the right side of Arena Road, the big piece that goes all the way up in front on Edney, that's already zoned industrial property. There would need to be no comp plan or other change for that to be developed. That's across from us there. That also borders up to Head Start.
What you call it, where you gonna be jacking back up with it?
and you don't foresee any impact as far as traffic problems with that facility that's there now.
Whatever the future use is, it would have to meet. There would be traffic analysis requirements as you go through. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to speak for the city, but they have their own traffic analysis requirements as we go through. So they'll certainly assess, and we can certainly place limitations on whatever that use is if we need to about which direction they go. But if they're going to produce an excessive amount of traffic, I think it would probably just the city wouldn't allow it if it didn't meet whatever your code requirements were.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none?
Thank you,
you, sir. Unless you have anything else to say, I'm gonna go ahead and announce this. Are there any comments for or against the matter as discussed, as presented? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against the matter in consideration?
Just like to note that there are no one else in attendance other than the property owner.
With having no other in the audience in attendance, we will still go through the process of announcing. Okay. I now close the public hearing portion of the, except for direct questions by members of the local planning agents. Is there any discussion, debate, or recommendations to the agenda item posted? Any comment about that request? Hearing none, the suggested motion is hereby move that recommendation of the adoption of Amendment 19S11 be made by City Council, made to the City Council, recommend approval. So we need a motion by a member.
I'm making a motion to approve amendment number 19S11.
We have a second?
A second.
Any discussion by members? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion is carried. The next item for consideration is any other business we brought before the board?
We need to vote
For the rezoning.
for the rezoning portion.
Rezoning portion?
Yes, sir. It's a separate vote
Okay.
on that same property.
Okay, the next item consideration is LPA request 20-08, which is a zoning change for the single-family dwelling, R1 to industrial M1 zoning designation. Action by the board.
I recommend we approve the zoning change for
20-08.
20-08.
We have a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? I got one comment, if you will, is when that comes back to the development stage, that the concerns of this board be addressed, and that,
Absolutely.
particularly the buffer and the traffic concerns.
Yes, sir.
Okay, make that part of the record. That's all. Any other comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. Okay, other business, Trey?
No, sir, no other business tonight. Reminder, we do have another meeting this month on the 21st. It also will be a busy meeting. We are working towards trying to make things a little bit more fluid, to smooth these things out and make things move a little bit faster for you. So look for the next packet in the next week or so to be a little bit different. I also want to invite all you guys to 2 meetings that we're having this weekend. Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock is an economic development meeting, and 3:30 is the transportation outreach meeting. We're going to try to do some public outreach, help the public understand how this kind of thing works, how we
Here?
It will be at the community center next to the Chamber of Commerce.
Isn't the, Parks and Rec thing too, also Saturday?
That's that morning.
That's the morning, so
Yep.
it's an all-day thing at the,
Yep.
okay.
It's gonna be a busy day. Barbecue would be nice that day.
Here's no further.
I have one quick thing.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boyles, I'd like to apologize on the record for missing our meeting last December, and postponing your project a couple of weeks.
Okay, I would like to also add that,
Yes, sir.
sorry, go ahead. I'd just like to add, I will not be present at the next meeting on the 21st.
So we got to take notice, we have to be one board member short.
So on that subject, it's very important that the remaining 4 of you guys do show, because that means we would be without a quorum if the 4 of you guys don't show, or Mr. Skinner's, or Mr. Jones is out sick again.
I
We'll be
respect you, I respect your comments, but I remember the comments of, our manager at the last meeting that we were not able to conduct. He said, that ain't gonna happen again. Okay, that ain't gonna happen again. And I said, well.
Well, he personally texted me 15 minutes before this meeting.
Well,
He tried his
He
best.
texted me too and asked me if I was remembering.
We stand adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
And I told him he'd fix that traffic on South
Ain't gonna happen
85.
again. That's why Trey's doing such a hard job to get a quorum here.